Her language was completely different from the tone that the administration had been touting for months. But almost like Queen Esther, the Vice President resolved, "If I perish, let me perish."
Greetings, y'all, and welcome to See Things Above TV. I'm your host, Lou Ciccone. So we're taking a look at a video from Jamal Bryant over here. I mean, frequent guest on the channel, it seems at this point. many appearances, but it's because there's always stuff going on that we just have to address. All right, so before we do, y'all know what to do if you like content like this. Like, share, and subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications. Do the stuff that lets YouTube know that you like content like this, all right? So without further ado, let's hop into this video.
Fast forward 59 years. After the death of 30,000 innocent lives in Gaza, the first woman and the first black vice president last Sunday was at the Bridges commemoration. She stepped ahead of the line and was met by microphones, to which she announced to the world that a ceasefire for at least 6 weeks had to take place in Israel.
The way he gets so dramatic about this stuff, man, it's almost kind of comical, man, the way he gets dramatic about how he is telling this story, man. It's just wild. And you know, it reminds me of something I saw some time ago, man, where it was like just talking about the evolution of Jamal Bryant, right? The many faces of him kind of thing. And now all of a sudden he's like this really socially conscious, serious, like, you know, kind of, I mean, he's woke dude over here. And this is what he does now, man. This is part of his platform. Hence why he is, you know, poking his nose or whatever it is into politics now, you know, endorsing certain people who honestly just don't line up with God's word. And yet again, we have one here who he's going to be uplifting. So this is the new Jamal Bryant, man. This is one of his new hats that he's wearing, man. The social justice woke hero Jamal Bryant version that we see now today.
According to the New York Times on Monday, members of the Security Council were attempting to edit Kamala Harris's remarks. They wanted to temper them down, but she refused to compromise. Her language was completely different from the tone that the administration had been touting for months. But almost like Queen Esther, the Vice President resolved, "If I perish, let me perish." Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, a lot of you have had to do some things, even at the risk of employment retrenchment, that you knew your conscience would not allow you to ignore.
All right, man, let's get serious about this, man. Like, come on. So, first of all, he says Kamala Harris is almost like Queen Esther in her pushing back against the Security Council, the members of the Security Council telling her to switch her messaging. Okay, like that somehow makes her like Queen Esther. You know, perhaps like the dumbest part about what he just said is that he's talking about Kamala Harris promoting a ceasefire from Israel in Gaza right now. Okay, so at the time of this recording, we know that there's a conflict going on there right now. Okay, so he's talking about that, and he is saying that Kamala Harris is like Esther, when in fact Kamala Harris could not be like Esther in this situation, because she's actually speaking more against Israel in this situation. So it doesn't make sense. Israel's fighting for its survival right now as a nation. And the fact that he's trying to use this whole thing and say, oh no, like the Gaza Strip, there's all these things happening there. Like, we're not going to get into all the politics of the war and all that stuff. But the fact of the matter is, Esther stood for Israel, okay? A ceasefire right now does not help Israel. And so for you to make that comparison is pretty dumb. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. And so that's perhaps like the silliest part of what he said. When it comes to the alphabet agenda, when it comes to protection of life in the womb, all these things are pushed by this administration that this woman is part of and actually one of the faces of. And you're saying somehow that this woman is speaking for God, right? Or she's standing up for her convictions based off of a love and a commitment for God. Like, you're insinuating that, because that's what Esther did, right? That's what Esther did. So that's what you're saying. And yeah, it simply doesn't add up. It's actually a really silly comparison. It's just trying to prop up somebody using, again, this is the whole thing here is like, it's a racial thing. He's using Kamala Harris to be this symbol of a strong black woman in the midst of, oppression and all this kind of stuff from the people around her, when that's just a false narrative that he's creating. It's a false narrative. He's trying to sell you an idea. And no, sir, Kamala Harris has got nothing to do with Esther. There's no comparison. There's nothing, no similarity whatsoever. So, man, this was a silly statement. Silly statement. But in his push to be more vocal about politics and all these kind of things, and he himself, right? We know all the ways that he's compromised and the things that he's even pushed, the people that he's promoted, in his push to do all that, man. This is just the latest chapter of it, man. And you're going to see, I think, more and more of this version of Jamal Bryant, man. I don't know what he's trying to do necessarily, where he's trying to be. Is he trying to be like the next Al Sharpton or whatever? I don't know. I really don't know. But there seems to be this push going on from him, man. But let me know y'all's thoughts in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And if then you have been raised with Christ, seek the things that are above, where Christ is, seated at the right hand of God. Set your minds on things that are above, not on things that are on earth. All right. God bless y'all, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.